Yeah, these nails are getting too long. Use the old finger mixing the cocktail trick. I'm fancy like that, okay? And yes, I did actually add some extra gin before I poured this cocktail in a bottle into my glass. I've talked about this before, so I'm not gonna like go on and on about it, but I love this company. These are pre-made cocktails in these adorable little containers. It's called Wandering Barman. This particular one is called the Iron Lady. It has gin with rose petal, citra hops, grapefruit, lemon, cane sugar. And look at that color, it's so pretty. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I just don't have enough videos out there about the Sephora VIB sale. I need another one. I hear you. You know, you don't have enough options. You don't have enough choices, so you need some more from me. Great. So this is like all my recommendations. I spent all morning just putting everything together, figuring out like the best of the best. Okay, I do favorites videos. I just did a whole video about my favorite matte lipsticks. So I'm gonna link some of those videos down below so you can revisit those as well if you'd like. But this is like the cream of the crop, the favorite of the favorites. This is like, if I had to choose, if I could choose like one or two things in each category that you need to buy, that I think you need to buy, that's what this video is about. This is high stakes, okay? This is super, super intense. So go make yourself a cocktail and let's get started. I talk about this in my live streams, but I know not everyone who watches my videos necessarily come to my live streams. And I like to just let people know how affiliate links work because people don't know. I didn't know. So basically, I link everything down below. Most creators link everything they use or talk about in their description box. If you want to buy something that creator has talked about, you go into the description box, you click the link, and whatever you purchase through that link is going to make that creator a small commission. It costs you no money. It is such an easy way to just support the content that you're already watching. I do it all the time. When I purchase something, I'll try to remember to use like Michelle Wong's links or Better Off Red or Glitter Fallout. Like, it's just super easy and they get something out of it and I watch their content anyway. So I just wanted to explain how that works because when I have explained it in the past, people's minds were blown. Like, they didn't understand how that worked. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. So first we're going to start with makeup, trying to do it in order of application. Then we're going to get into a little bit of skincare. I'm just going to put all the information about the sale down in the description box. It is a tiered sale, so certain members can shop on certain days and yada shmada bada. So all of that is going to be linked down below. You don't need to hear me rattle off a bunch of dates. I mean, let me tell ya, you guys must be sick to death of me talking about this product, but you know what? You knew it was coming. And again, I am not sorry. I have to talk about the sauce. The sauce is so well loved and so used. I should have polished the sauce up, okay? She's looking a little loved. This really is something that stunned me because I purchased this when I was at Sephora. I wanted to do a Sephora haul. It was brand new and I really didn't think it was gonna be up my alley at all, but I'm like, well, it's new, I'll try it, we'll see. It turned out to be like one of my favorite products of the year to date. So this is the Fenty Body Sauce. It is a body luminizing tint. It comes in 7 different shades. I've talked about it so much. A lot of these things I've really belabored. So if I have, I'm gonna try to kind of quickly move through them, but I just have to tell you, I have this on my décolleté today. I use it every time I film. Anytime I'm being seen basically by another human being, and well, let me take that back. Anytime I'm being seen and I give a shit at the time about how I look, I'm putting on the body sauce. It gives you this beautiful skin, this beautiful sort of like blurred canvas. And, you know, I make sure to use a moisturizer beforehand, make sure my skin is nice and exfoliated beforehand. And this just goes on perfectly. I have 2 backups of this already. So I mean, I guess I could get another backup in the sale. I think that's a little excessive, but I love it so much that I might just have to. This is an expensive product. You know, it's $49. That's a lot of money. So you know that if I'm telling you it's 1000% worth it, it's worth it. I basically did almost like a dedicated video to this kind of recently where I did my glowy, bronzy, quick makeup look, and this was pretty much the star of that video. Okay, all right, we've heard enough about the sauce. So now we're moving on to some primers. Actually, it's just one primer. It is the Say Glowy Super Gel. I guess it's in the shade Star Glow. So I have this on my face today, and I just love this as a primer. It is a gel, so it's super light. It also just feels really hydrating going on. I just think it's a Goldilocks primer. I actually try to use this as just like a highlighter. See, there it is right there. And you can see how beautiful it makes your skin look. I actually put it all over my chest after the body sauce. I didn't love this as a highlighter because I didn't feel like it was quite enough. Like it didn't feel like it was it didn't feel like it had the impact that, like, you know, the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter had, because it's just a little bit too light, which makes it perfect as a primer. I feel like I am just gonna be Yammer McYammersons over here. This got a lot to get through. Moving on to foundations, this has been a fantastic few months for foundations. I have found so many that I love, so it was really hard to choose, but I'm going to start it off with this damn Dior Air Flash. This should come as no surprise to anyone, right? Like, everyone has talked about this, but for good reason. I heard about this first from Michelle and Sarah, and it's what I'm wearing on my face today. It is truly, I feel like we're supposed to stop using the words flawless and perfect, because we don't want those to be, you know, what we're aiming for, right? It's not about being perfect. It's not about being flawless. But if you could find a foundation that was perfect and flawless, it would be this one. You know, I gravitate toward a Your Skin But Better foundation situation in general. This was sent to me. This is sent to me by a subscriber. I don't think I ever would have tried it otherwise, because it did feel, I just wasn't into the whole spray thing. I'm like, really? A spray foundation? Yes, a spray foundation. It just blends so easily. It's so quick to put on. It's like 1 minute, I'm done. So that's my like #1 foundation recommendation. Okay, if you don't want to spend the dollars on this, I love this Say Slip Tint foundation. It is just such a beautiful, dewy foundation. It does have SPF in it, so it has SPF 35, which is, you know, that's great. You know, these really go on just about the same. They go on so beautifully, but I just wanted to give you, you know, an option that's not as spency as this one. This is just as good. Well, it's almost just as good as this one, almost. This is really, really hydrating and really dewy. It's really sheer coverage. So if it's kind of like a Glossier skin perfecting tint. So if you're a person who's looking for like a light to medium coverage, this might be a little bit light for you, but it's perfect for me. I love it. Okay, so moving on to a concealer, and I'm gonna make this super duper easy for you. I have one suggestion. It is the Kosas Revealer. It's a really long name, but it's like the Kosas Revealer Brightening Plus Eye Cream Concealer. This is all I'm using right now. Honestly, like this, or, you know, I'm interchanging this with like my Glossier Stretch Concealer. This just blends out like a damn dream. So I'm wearing this on my face today. I tried to do a full face of everything I'm recommending so you can see it on my visage, and I'll point it out when it comes up. But yeah, this is just a fantastic concealer. It really is so brightening, so creamy. I do blend it out with a damp beauty sponge. You know, I love the Pat McGrath concealer. I absolutely love it, but I would say this is just like a little bit lighter coverage than that. So if you want something that's a little less intense but blends out just as beautifully as the Pat McGrath, do this one. Kosas is killing it, man. They're killing it. Like, I have never tried one thing from Kosas. They're like melt. Everything I try, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you did it again. Good job. Want a cookie? So that brings me to my powder recommendation. Again, only one powder recommendation, and it's the Kosas Cloud Setting Powder. Again, on my face today. This is pretty much one of the only powders I'm using right now. I cannot get enough of it. I've talked about it many times, so again, I'm not going to like go on and on, but it is fantastic because it wipes away shine, but not radiance. I always like to compare it with another powder just to give you a frame of reference. The Charlotte Tilbury powder is like, you know, one of my holy grails, right? I will always have that on hand. I love the airbrush Flawless Finish setting powder. This is like a step down in terms of coverage. Sometimes I feel like even the Charlotte Tilbury, it's a little mattifying for me. Like I can feel a little cakey depending on the foundation that I use. This is, again, I'm gonna use the term Goldilocks because it really is just perfect. It does mattify a little bit, but not too much. And it just looks so radiant and so natural. Also, like, I mean, the packaging. I know I've mentioned this, but I am obsessed with their frosted packaging. So moving on to bronzer, and I have a powder bronzer option and a cream bronzer option. So I'm going to start with the cream bronzer. This is the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer. I have it in the shade Butter Biscuit. Bronzers are tough, you know what I mean? Because you can really overdo them, and that's just not cute. I just feel like this is a really natural application. I'm really impressed with this, but I mean, the winner of all winners in the bronzer category is most definitely the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Matte Bronzer. I try to, you know, use other bronzers, and this just, I keep coming back to it. It wins out every time. You would think I would gravitate more toward a glowy bronzer, and I'm not mad at a glowy bronzer. Like, I love the Kosas bronzer, but this is just perfection. Like, I'm wearing this on my face today, and again, I cannot overdo it with this. This is the shade medium. It is so finely milled. It is so luxurious. It is such a gradual application. This is another product that's very expensive, but the great thing about, I think it's like $55 or something like that. But the great thing about it is that it's refillable. If something's gonna win an award for packaging, it's definitely gonna be this Art Deco gold situation. Wow, look at the back. She is like the Velveteen Rabbit. So yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a fantastic no-fail powder bronzer, this is your gal. Okay, so moving on to eyeshadow. This is a tough video to do, right? Because like I have a million eyeshadow palettes, I have a million one and done eyeshadows, but I really try to hone in on the thing that I'm loving most right this minute. I have two of these damn Tom Ford cream and powder eye colors now. It's what I have on my eyes today, and this is all I ever need, products like this. So the shade that I have on my eyes is called Golden Peach. I also have the shade Naked Bronze, which is my first shade, and this is just, well, it's really like, it can be a one and done, but it's also a two and done because it has two components to it. So you have the cream blush in the bottom, which you could totally just wear on its own. And then you have the powder topper on top, which again, you could totally just wear on its own. So, you know, you can combine the two, you can wear them by themselves. I just do the whole lid up to my brow because I'm a lazy bitch. I feel like the cream is more of like a daytime look, and if you want to glam it up a little bit, then you can open up the top and top it with the glitter, and you're kind of going like a soft glam situation. Yeah. Okay, so two eyeliners I want to mention. I know eyeliner is so boring, but it's so important though. I've chosen two eyeliners for you. They're both basically the same shade. The first one I chose is the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal Iconic Liquid Eye Pencil. You know, there's not a lot to go on about here. It's just a super buttery eyeliner that goes on like a dream. This shade is Barbarella Brown, which is the only shade I have, the only shade I feel like I need because it's like an espresso shade. Basically the same idea. This was sent to me by a subscriber and I'm obsessed with it. This is the Pat McGrath Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil. This is the special edition. I don't know why it's special edition. It shouldn't be because it's perfect, and it's like a perfect everyday eye pencil in the shade Black Coffee. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. And you know, I have some self-sharpening eyeliners that I really love. Like I love the Ilia pencil, but I don't love a self-sharpening pencil because they don't stay sharp. Like the whole self-sharpening thing is just a sham. It's a lie. Yes, I have to take the extra step to like get a sharpener and sharpen it, but I don't mind that because I like having, you know, a really, well, it's not really a sharp edge right now because I just used it, but I like having a really sharp edge because honestly, I'm totally into a baby wing, and it's so easy to do with a pencil that you have to sharpen because it's just like, boop. And if it's super buttery, like this Pat McGrath pencil, it's so quick and easy. Okay, so moving on to mascara. This is like the foundation category. I have so many mascaras that I have loved over the recent months. So I picked out 3. I love this Bite Beauty mascara. I mean, it really is such a beautiful volumizing mascara. It kind of gives me like, what am I trying to think of? It kind of gives me like twiggy lashes, like especially my bottom lashes. They're kind of like lightly clumped together when I use this, which I know like the word clump doesn't have positive connotations to it, but with this it does. It's just a gorgeous mascara, and I really couldn't put it down for a while, but of course I'm trying to mix it up because I have so many damn mascaras. And then in terms of a 2-in-1 mascara, I have 2 options for you. First, what I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is a fresh tube. I have already gone through one other tube of this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. Obviously, like we love a 2-in-1 mascara, right? 2-in-1 meaning it gives you volume as well as length. So it's got different sides to the brush. One side is going to give you volume. You use the little bristly sides, it's going to give you length. I love this mascara, and also the Lancome Lash Idole. Same idea. Same idea. I mean, it is a different wand though, but it really is a volume and length mascara. These are great just like everyday mascaras. And you know, I feel like with this mascara I can just get in there and I don't have to be precious. You know, it's not like, oh, the stars have to align for this mascara to look fantastic. No, this always looks good. Moving on to, get ready, blush. Every blush that I have to mention today is a cream blush, because you know how I feel about a cream blush. This is another category that I am not going to belabor, because if you want to, you know, get in the weeds and learn about the minutia of these cream blushes, I did a whole like cream products video, which again, I'm going to link these videos down below if you want to know more details. But I just have to quickly mention like what rose to the top for me. First, I'm going to start with what's on my face today. And of course, it's the Melt Cream Blush Lights. I went hog wild. I bought the whole collection. So I've tried every single shade. These Melt Cream blushes are so beautiful. They do come in different finishes. So some are shimmer finishes and some are not as shimmery. They're more of a natural finish. These are like 2 of my favorite shades. The first shade I want to talk about is what I put on over my foundation before I set my powder, and it is just a proper peach. This is called Honey Thief. It kind of is a little bit reminiscent to me of MAC in Melba, but like the cream version of that. It's just so beautiful, and especially if you've used the body sauce and you're a little bit tan, it looks so good. Peachy corals across the board are just so beautiful on so many skin tones. Then, just to be a little bit extra, I finished on the apples of my cheeks with the shade Polished, which they call a grapefruit shade. It just has like a little bit more of a pinky peach to it, which I feel just looks so healthy. So I just went in with a little bit of that right here. Like I said, you know, Melt just can't get it wrong. Like every product I have has just like knocked it out of the park. So that's my number 1 recommendation, but it's tough though, because I have so many cream blushes and it's hard to compare them because they're all so good, but these are a little bit different formula. I have to talk about the Rare Beauty cream blushes. These are from the Stay Vulnerable line. So I think they're called the Stay Vulnerable Melting Cream Blushes. So this shade, I just pulled a random shade. I have all of them. This is called Nearly Mauve. These are just a beautiful, they really are melting. So you put your finger on them. I mean, the Melt cream blushes are very melty as well, but this is like next level. It's very balmy. You put your finger on top of it and it just immediately responds to the heat of your fingers. I feel like if I'm comparing, the Rare Beauty blushes are not quite as dewy as the Melt. So if that helps you out a little bit, this formula is a little bit more of like a satin finish. There's also, this is a newer brand for me. This is the Merit Cheek Color. I have this in 2 shades, and these also feel very similar. Oh my God, why are there so many planes? These are like an aspen cheek situation. That's another thing I'll say, if it helps to sort of differentiate these different blushes that I'm talking about. I feel like the shade range of the Melt blushes doesn't necessarily lend itself to an aspen cheek. And if you don't know what I mean by an aspen cheek, it's just a term I coined that is sort of like what you would look like if you were out on the slopes skiing in Aspen and you came in and you had a hot toddy. Just like that flushed sort of like berry cheek. That's an Aspen Cheek. So these are definitely Aspen Cheek shades. This shade is Cheeky and this is called Mood. I know this looks like really, really dark and daunting, but it's actually not. I love this shade. It's just such a beautiful, cool tone berry shade. So pretty. So if you're looking for an Aspen Cheek, I think you should definitely try the Merit blushes. If you're a person who just loves a peachy, corally, dewy situation, do the Melt blushes. And I don't know, the Rare Beauty blushes are great too. I did not choose a lot of lip products. Again, I'm trying to really hone in here. I also just did a video that's all about my favorite matte lipsticks, like I mentioned before. So the only matte lipstick I'm gonna mention is what is on my lips right now, and it is these Rare Beauty lip souffles. Officially, my favorite shade is Motivate, which is a pinky coral shade that I have on my lips today. They're just so comfortable and they really just do feel like a whipped situation when you put them on your lips, and when they dry down, they're still super comfortable. Not gonna go on and on about these, I already have, but like, again, a run, do not walk situation. I love these Bite Beauty Yay Sayer plumping lip glosses. Both, I only have 2 shades right now, but both shades are killing it. Cider Donut is like the most gorgeous, universally flattering nude shade. I used this when I did my video about a glowy bronzed look. It's just sexy. It's just soft and sexy and plushious. And then of course I have to have a pink gloss because I love a pink gloss. This is Raspberry Swirl. I use this all the time. They have a little bit of shimmer to them, which, you know, I do love because again, it reflects the light, so it tends to make your lips look a little bit juicier. And I really like the packaging of these and the applicator. I just feel like it's really clean and smart. And then the other gloss I want to recommend, this is brand spanking new. Now it's not a new product. These are the Fenty gloss bombs, the cream Fenty gloss bombs, but they came out with 2 new shades and I almost peed my pants because I have the whole collection of the cream gloss bombs and I love all the shades. Initially when I got them, I was like, oh, I don't know if these are gonna look good on my lips or with my skin tone. They're very sort of like warm brownie shades, but it turned out that I loved them. But then they came out with these and I was like, oh damn. So this shade is called Bubble Binge and this shade is called Cupcakin, and they are just, well, this shade is super fun. I used this in a recent live stream and it was just like the perfect juicy hot pink lip gloss. This is a little bit more approachable. It looks kind of boring and mauve in the tube, but it's actually kind of like, I don't know, it's like a peachy mauve shade. I think this is really, really flattering. If you're a person who is a little bit like not into the shade range that they first came out with the cream glosses, get these because I am in love with these shades. Okay, so moving on to highlighter, and I have one, you heard me right, one highlighter that I'm gonna recommend to you, making it super easy again. And they're bougie highlighters, but again, they're worth it. These are the Westman Atelier. This is a new brand for Sephora. This is the Westman Atelier Lit Up Highlight Stick, and I have it in 2 shades. The first shade, I've had this shade for a while, and it became my favorite highlighter, point blank, and it's just the lit up highlight stick. So this is a very like opalescent wet look highlighter, just so beautiful. Then they came out with a new shade and it is absolutely stunning. Again, Michelle Wong could not stop talking about it. She uses it as a primer. So I actually tried that the other night and it was incredible. This shade is called Nectar. They look, you know, really drastically different when I'm showing them to you in the containers, but they're actually not. The main difference is that this is more sort of like opalescent, sort of like has a little bit of like a purpley blue tint to it, whereas this is obviously peachier. I'm wearing Nectar as my only highlighter today. I describe these highlighters as basically like, you know, when you see, you know, movie stars on the red carpet at the Oscars and they're giving you like an incredibly minimal makeup situation and it just literally looks like they came from the spa. Like their skin is just glowing. That's what these are. These are gonna give you that beautiful wet look, natural, bringing out your natural skin, enhancing what you already have. Not just like putting like a shimmery powder on top. I cannot get enough. So I picked out skincare that's like, again, very next level. Like these are products when I use them, I see a difference. This isn't like a subtle thing. Again, these are products that I've talked about many times, so I'm going to just quickly move through them, but these two chemical exfoliants are it. This is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow, and this is the Drunk Elephant TLC Sukari Baby Facial. Everyone talks about this one. For good reason. I honestly feel like these both do the same thing for me, and they both make my skin look incredible the next day. So the main difference between these is that this is a mask. So this is something you put on for 20 minutes and then you wash off. And this Honeymoon Glow is a serum, so you're gonna keep this on. But they really do the same thing because they are AHA, BHA products. I wake up the next day and my skin is completely clear. It's glowing. It looks like, again, I just had a facial. I've just always been impressed with my skin after I've used these products. Also, you know, skincare is expensive, so I feel like this is a good time to pick up some skincare if you've been not wanting to pull the trigger. So after you've used your chemical exfoliant, you want to make sure you really hydrate your skin. I didn't use those. I used a different chemical exfoliant. It was a new product last week, and I left it on for too long and my skin was really red and I kind of started to freak out a little bit. I was so glad that I had just purchased this. This is the Glow Recipe Avocado Ceramide Recovery Serum. This is a brand new product, but I feel like I can speak to it because when my skin was like overly red from that chemical exfoliant, I used this and it immediately calmed my skin down. So this is going to be barrier protection. This is what you want to use when you feel like your skin, again, is like super dry, maybe you overdid it. So I want to mention a skin mist. This is the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner Mist. This was sent to me by a subscriber. I'm so glad because, again, another product that I don't know I would have picked up otherwise. The main way that I use this is in the morning, you know, I'll wake up and I'll just feel dry as hell. You know, I'm living in an old New York City apartment, constantly have the AC going, even when it's wintertime, because there's like no cross breeze. So, you know, my skin feels dry when I wake up. This is literally the first thing I do. I just spray this all over my face and it literally feels like I put on a moisturizer. This is a cream that melts into a mist, a hydrating mist that provides ample moisture and glow to the skin. This is just so refreshing and such a lifesaver. So this is, yeah, that's the first thing I turn to when I wake up is that. All right, guys, so that wraps, and I almost made it all the way through my cocktail. This is like perfect timing. That wraps up my recommendations for the Spring 2021 Sephora VIB sale. I hope this is helpful. I tried to narrow it down as much as I possibly could. If you are digging on my treats, if you're enjoying my content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and you also hit that notification bell. I always forget to mention that nowadays, but the notification bell is going to let you know when I put out a new video. And also hit that thumbs up button because it helps. Oh, I probably should share something, but I don't know what that would be. Whoa. Okay, I know what it is though. I know what it is. Westman Atelier Lit Up Highlight 6. Good job. You guys stay safe out there and cheers till next time. Bye.